Hey guys, before this video gets started, I just want to apologize for the audio. I kind of messed it up a little bit. It peaks at some points. Some points are louder, some points are a little quieter. I don't really know what I did wrong, but I'm working on to fix it for the next one, so please just bear with me for this one, and thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Around the Bases, your home plate for all things baseball. The MLB spring camps are finally underway with pitchers and catchers having both reported last weekend. So this week, I think we'll take a look at my top 5 pitchers and catchers for the 2020 MLB season. There are a lot of great pitchers and catchers in the MLB this year. An argument can be made for a whole bunch of them to make my top 5 list. These are my opinions, so let's get started with the top 5 catchers going into the 2020 MLB season. At number 5, I have to go with the 16-year vet Yadier Molina. At 37 years old, I still think he's one of the best defensive catchers in the game. He is getting on the older side though, only putting up 1.3 WAR last year, hitting 10 home runs and a .270 batting average, but he's still one of the best, if not the best, defensive catcher in the league. It's probably getting to be a little bit of a stretch putting him on the top 5 list, but it just feels wrong to make a list without Yadier Molina on it. This will probably be the last time I put him on one of these lists, as he is getting to be 38 years old he's going to turn, so I expect him to drop off even more this year, but again, best defensive catcher in the game. Number 4 on my list goes to Cubs catcher Willson Contreras. Although he's battled an injury bug over the last couple of years, he still puts up great offensive numbers when he's in the lineup. He was an all-star in 2019, even though he only played in 105 games. If he could stay healthy, he could put together a really great season for the Cubs. I expect him to hit right around 20 home runs in 2020 and have a great offensive season. Again, all he has to do is stay healthy. He's one of the best hitting catchers in the game today. The number 3 catcher on my list is Yankees catcher Gary Sanchez. Ever since Gary Sanchez started playing in the major leagues in 2016, he has done nothing but hit, and especially hit for power. He was also an all-star in 2019 with 34 home runs, batted .232, a little bit low, but the 34 home runs do more than enough to make up for that. What he lacks on the defensive side of the ball, he more than makes up for with his bat. I expect him to keep hitting in 2020. There's no reason for him to slow down, as he's only 27, and I expect him to have another great year, 30-plus home runs, 70-plus RBIs. Watch for him in 2020. He's going to have a good one. Number 2 on my list is new White Sox catcher Yasmani Grandal. Another guy who can just hit and hit some more. He's had 20-plus home runs in the last 4 years, and on top of that, has a really great glove behind the plate. One of the best two-way catchers that the MLB has in its game. I'm expecting him to really thrive in the new White Sox lineup. They got a bunch of big names around him. I expect him to do really well protected on both sides. I think him and the rest of the White Sox are going to have a really big year in 2020. And for the number 1 spot on this list goes to none other than Phillies catcher JT Realmuto. JT had a great first season in Philadelphia last year. It seems that anyone that gets out of Miami has done really well for themselves. Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, and now JT. An all-star, a Gold Glove winner, and a Silver Slugger last year, JT is on a projection to be the best catcher in the MLB in 2020. A plus arm behind the plate and a plus power bat, JT can throw the ball and hit the ball just about as far and as hard as anyone. I don't really think it's close as who the number 1 catcher is in the MLB. JT is head and shoulders right now above the rest. And those are my top 5 catchers for the 2020 MLB season. Now, let's move on to my top 5 pitchers going into the next MLB season. There are a lot of great starting pitchers in the league, and it was pretty hard to narrow it down to the top 5. I think there are 2 guys that stand just above the rest, but the bottom 3 can be moved in any order, and guys can be even swapped in and moved out. So let's start with the number 5 pitcher. This was really hard for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree that Stephen Strasburg isn't on this list, but I just want to get that out of the way now. Stephen Strasburg just missed the top 5. So for number 5, I have Jack Flaherty for the St. Louis Cardinals. Flaherty really rose to stardom in 2019, posting an NL best whip, 231 strikeouts, an ERA of 2.75, and 11 wins. A strikeout per 9 over 10. He clearly has the stuff to strike out anybody in the MLB. And only at the age of 24, there's a lot of room left for Flaherty to grow and become even greater going into the 2020 season. I expect him to have similar strikeout numbers to last year and maybe a little bit higher ERA as more people will see him, but he's still one of the premier pitchers rising up in the game today. At number 4 on my list is the Washington Nationals ace, Max Scherzer. There's not really much I have to say about Max Scherzer, as he has been great pretty much ever since he's been in the MLB. Last year he had a little bit of a back injury that set him back, and when he came back from that injury, he wasn't as dominant as he once was, but he still has that swing and miss stuff, the overpowering fastball, the great breaking stuff. If you make a list of top 5 pitchers and you don't include Max Scherzer, I don't know what you are doing. He has been one of the best pitchers in the league since 2012. He's going to continue to be one of the best pitchers in the league until he decides to retire. Max Scherzer is number 4 on this list, and he probably could have been even higher, but I have him at number 4. The number 3 pitcher on this list is someone that pitched with Max Scherzer when they were in Detroit, and that is Justin Verlander. I read somewhere that Justin Verlander is like a fine wine, that he gets better with age, and that is really true with the way he's been pitching the last couple of years. He won the Cy Young Award last year with 300 strikeouts, 223 innings pitched, 34 games started. For someone at the age of 36, he shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. If anything, he shows signs of getting better as he keeps getting older. Justin Verlander is one of the dominant pitchers that MLB has ever seen. Top 3 on this list, and only because the 2 guys that have had fantastic last seasons does he find himself at number 3. Now the number 1 and 2 spots can really go back and forth, but at number 2, I have Garrett Cole, New York Yankees ace. Obviously, he had a great season last year with Houston, leading the league in strikeouts at 326. Probably, if I had to vote, would have won the Cy Young Award over Justin Verlander, but that does not take away from the fantastic season that Garrett Cole had. I fully expect him to strike out another 300 this year, have an ERA under 2.5, and have another great season, contend for another Cy Young Award, lead New York to an even better season that they had last year, compete for the World Series in the AL. Watch Garrett Cole in New York. He probably could have been number 1 on this list if it wasn't for this guy at the number 1 spot, and that is none other than Jacob deGrom from the New York Mets. deGrom is a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner in 2018 and 2019. Everyone knows his 2018 season was one of the best that the game has ever seen, and then he followed that up with a fantastic 2019, winning him another Cy Young Award. It seems like deGrom is just reaching his peak in his age 31 season. Only came up when he was 26 in 2014, so he's finally starting to hit that stride. He's on his way to quickly becoming one of the best pitchers that the MLB has ever seen. If you haven't watched this guy pitch, please go look at his highlights. There's some playing in the background right now, but do yourself a favor and watch this guy pitch a game. If there's one pitcher I could have on the mound when it's a must-win scenario, I am choosing Jacob deGrom. No doubt, in my mind, that he is the best pitcher in the MLB. If only the Mets would give him a little more run support. Please, this year, 2020, have some run support from the Mets and make yourself even greater in 2020. When your 3rd Cy Young Award is going to happen in 2020, the best pitcher in the MLB. And that does it for this video today, my top 5 catchers and pitchers for the 2020 MLB season. Next week, I think I'm going to take a look at some base stats, get an introduction for baseball for those people that don't know it, some of the basic stats, and some of the more advanced stats. That's my plan for next Saturday. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please continue to comment if you have any questions or video ideas or if you disagree with anything, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.